They can be in this at any moment. They just gotta up their mental game, let their talent speak.
Amazing placement. What a shot.
That was a Yahtzee overhead.
Aspect of mental toughness here that's just so different.
I like the body language of all four players.
Oh, look at that shot! Great hands from Kiro.
And hello and welcome to the 2023-2024 APTA Tour presented by Volley. We are live from the Cleveland Racquet Club in beautiful Cleveland, Ohio, bringing you the Cleveland Masters Men's and Women's National Ranking Tournament, a 2023-24 APTA Tour event, which is the fifth stop on the APTA Tour, with live streaming brought to you by APTA membership, the APTA national sponsors Volley and Fusion, and local sponsors, buckle up, Trombold Equipment, Viking Athletics, Brent Luce with Carnegie Investment Council, the Compass Group of Dame Mark Wealth Partners, Geraci's Restaurants, Gilmore Security, Lau Chemical, Howard Hanna, Suzanne Deering and Associates, Reset Lounge, and Weaver Fabrication. I'm Randy Markey, along with Patty Hogan, and we are here bringing you the women's finals of the Cleveland Masters. Hey, Patty, how are you?
Randy, I am great. We have an exciting matchup here. I think it's a compelling matchup with our number 4 ranked team in the country, Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sikora, up against a combination team of Jersey's, some of Jersey's finest. Kerry Delmonico teamed up with Georgie Alexandre here in this match. And they kind of moved into the finals fairly routinely, I would say, Randy. But I think now they're each, like, this match is a pick-em in my book.
Yeah, well, I would agree. I think, you know, Charlotte and Allison are the defending champions, but having watched the semifinal that brought Kerry and Georgie into this final, I would tell you I am equally excited to see what happens here.
Yep, that's Charlotte Sikora starting things off. That's Allison Morgan up at the net there. Sikora is the taller of the two players. And on the far side, about to hit the return to serve, Randy. Who is it?
Georgie Alexandre.
Georgie in pink. And the reason I said that way is I just think it's fascinating how Alexandre and Delmonico are playing these sides. Delmonico, longtime partner Lauren Gebbia, plays both sides, but has predominantly played out of the ad court for years and years and years. Kerry's been a top player for over 2 decades. Georgie's a little bit more of the new kid on the block, has really risen in the last couple of years. He's played with Gussie O'Sullivan. They've gotten themselves top 10 in the country. And her play is just dramatically improved, even through the course of the early part of the season so far, Randy. And that's why this makes it such an intriguing matchup.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if the partnership and communication on the Sikora Morgan side of the net is as big of an advantage as they're hoping it is.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I had $5 to bet on the match, it'd be hard to go against the number 4 team in the country. So they are my pick, but I expect, especially if Delmonico and Alexandre get off to a good start, that this could be a super competitive match. I feel like if Sikora and Morgan get off to a good start, they could steamroll. Maybe not steamroll, but they could roll.
I believe we've got 30
I don't think
all
anybody.
here.
Yeah, I don't think anybody can really steamroll at this point in the finals. But I could see, you know, Morgan and Sikora, as you can tell, they love playing together. They have fun out there. They're awesome communicators, enthusiastic supporters of each other at all moments in the match, Randy, which is what really has allowed them to continually to improve themselves throughout the rankings, up in the rankings.
Yeah, they've been very impressive and very solid every match I've seen.
Yeah, and their fundamentals are so sound. We saw it a little bit in the semifinals. I was talking with Lauren Mandel about it, and you could just see, they've got the positioning down at the net to a T. They know how to mix up their shots. They read situations really well. And just the positioning at the net, that's where you always are going to, I think Morgan and Sikora will test the coverage of Delmonico and Alexandre here just to see who's going to cover what. And but they've played a couple matches, and we all know every match Delmonico's in, the match goes through Delmonico. So she'll be the one whose voice you're hearing say, you, me, you, me. She'll be in charge out there.
I'm not so familiar with Georgie's background. Share a little bit with us about where she comes from in her game, where her tennis background might be from.
Sure. She lives out, she plays for the Essex Hunt Club out in Peapack, New Jersey, and she's playing on tour. She's played on tour with Gussie O'Sullivan, and as a team, I was looking up their results the other day when I was preparing to talk with you during the finals, because we had a feeling this could be a matchup we were looking at. And the thing about Georgie and her partner Gussie O'Sullivan, they are a tough out for the top teams. They lost in nationals last year in the round of 16 to Delmonico and Gebbia. So Delmonico is, with this matchup, let's call it. But their other losses at their team were to Kiro and Macy Medeiros last year's Philly Open, to Morgan and Sikora last year at Short Hills. They lost to Morgan and Sikora again in the 3 sets up at the Boston Grand Prix last year. Long Island they played and went out to Kira Medeiros. So you're getting the hang of it. Chicago Charities last year, they went out to Hanish Zabori. So O'Sullivan and Alexandre, I have to say, have distinguished themselves and risen for the ranks because they don't lose to anybody they shouldn't lose to, if you know what I mean, Randy.
Yeah.
I mean, they take care of it, and then I just think as everybody's, skills improve and particularly decision-making, that's what allows players to get into the upper echelon in the sport. And I think Georgie Alexandre, from what I can see, she's right on the verge there and really confident in her game. And she's a battler, and she made some adjustments when they played in Montclair, actually. They took our defending national champs, Lynn Kiro and Macy Elliott, to 3 sets, 6-4 in the 3rd set, I believe. So I think she is a really scrappy player.
Yeah, and she's got a crack of a drive, and she seems to be, I watched her semifinal match, she's a very smart player. Doesn't seem to put the ball in dangerous places very often.
Yeah, she's had the benefit of playing with some of the stronger women from New Jersey and kind of listening and watching, and I think she's become a real good student of the game. And I think that's a big advantage players have when they come up through the ranks. If they're in, an area of the country where there's other top players, they benefit from that on-court knowledge they gain in all those practice matches. Right here you see Delmonico, Georgie doing a good job of shifting back and forth. Kerry got caught in a shift. That's a little bit of the danger when you move the volley from side to side. You can get caught there, and that's what Morgan and Sikora, I would expect them to do a lot of that. They understand where to place the ball on the court, and just shots that test the partnership and the movement of people at the net. And, we can see that already in the early going.
And we're all tied up at 1 apiece. 2 breaks.
Randy, do you want to give a shout out to a couple of the people on the ground there, our tournament directors and all the people who put in a tremendous amount of work to pull off the Cleveland Masters?
Absolutely. We've got a great team here in Cleveland that puts this tournament on, led by Leah Morris. She's surrounded herself with some great support. We've also got, assistant tour director Karen Jedlick here helping us out. Laura Weiss. It's been a
her
tremendous.
husband an umpire, by the way?
Dave is an umpire as well. Exactly.
Okay, thank you.
So it's a family affair, and their daughter is playing in the tournament. She made it into the quarters.
Oh, that's great.
So it's a family affair.
And Randy, we know Cleveland Racquet Club's doing a phenomenal job as the host club, and we've got about 9 or 10 other clubs that gave up their court for the weekend's event. We had 4 different tournaments here. We had the women's 90 plus, the men's 90 plus. We have the women's tour event and the men's tour event. So pretty big undertaking for the Cleveland paddle community.
It's been it's always a fun weekend here in Cleveland, and as you can see when we go to the shot that shows the crowd behind this court, it is well attended. It is a big party here on Saturday night at the Cleveland Masters every year, and we have the benefit this year of the weather being amenable, so people aren't out there freezing their butts off. It's the Cleveland Racquet Club is just a top-notch place. Lots of class here with the management team.
Right, and the facility, it's quite remarkable. And what I love about it, Randy, is I was reading that they have a paddle-only membership. Even though they have everything in that club, including a swimming pools, they have a separate paddle membership that's available to the community.
They do. I happen to be one of those paddle members.
See, I did my research.
Look at you.
And watch out, Randy. Boy, did I do my research.
I'm in trouble.
Speaking about the cold, wait, you go to UVM and you're complaining about the cold when it's 40 degrees?
I'm more worried about those lovely fans out there. I'm inside. I'm warm. I'm comfortable. It doesn't matter what the weather is. But I went to UVM. You did do your research.
Did you ever see the paddle courts there? Burlington has a paddle club. They have 2 courts.
I did not. Patty, the truth is I didn't pick up paddle until I was 47 years old.
Was that when you dropped playing the guitar?
Oh, you're bad.
Randy, are you from Ohio?
I am. Born and bred here in Cleveland. Moved away thinking I'd never come back and got dragged back here for a job and have been here for over 30 years and could not be happier. This is a wonderful community to raise a family in, and it's a very culture-rich community, great art museums, great music, 3, pro sports teams. Some are worth talking about, some are not.
But I mean, you used to play in a band at University of Vermont, true or false?
True.
Name of the band? I don't know it.
Oh, we don't want to go there, do we?
Okay.
It was an acoustic duo. It was just Bob and Ray.
I got you. And is it true that your group wore like lace-up knee-high moccasins to keep warm?
You're just a mean person. I would never do such a thing.
True or false?
That is false. Oh.
Well, you've
been talking to my wife who's been needling you, hasn't she?
No. Well, I'm glad to know you were from Vermont, and I guess that's where you enjoyed lots of snow skiing before you, when you weren't playing in your band. But I'm glad you ended up in Ohio, and it's, given your musical likes and background, it's logical that you're in the state where the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame is located.
That's right. Cleveland rocks. The home of rock and roll, right here in Cleveland, Ohio. We just actually attended the induction ceremonies for this year's class of Rock and Roll Hall of Fame inductees in New York City.
Oh, nice. Any Cleveland groups?
No Cleveland groups this year. A lot of Cleveland attendees, however. So true to form here, Patty, this match is as tight as you said it was going to be.
Well, and when you use the word tight, I was curious, who would come out tight of these two teams for the final. And I've got to say, Morgan Sikora, they're the ones who are the hunted in this match for sure. As the number 4 ranked team in the country, they have 2 tournament wins so far this year. And you have a pickup team, we'll call it, of Kerry playing with Georgie. So, definitely the pressure on Morgan Sikora here. But like you said, they won this event last year. They're looking for a repeat.
And I would say I don't think anybody's playing tight. They all look very comfortable. They're playing their game.
Yeah, and something about all 4 of these players, you don't see a weapon out there that can dictate play so much, Randy. Whereas sometimes you see the Roxy overhead or a Gabby overhead or, some of the other amazing women on tour and like a shot that they have that's a go-to shot when, to dictate play. Where these players are more similarly, styled players, I would say, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I think the only weapons that Sikora and Morgan have, that two-hander that Allison has is great, but Sikora's two-hander is a powerhouse when she unloads on it.
Yeah, and to your point earlier when you talked about the shot selection from Georgie Alexandre, they're not going to feed the strengths of Morgan Sikora. There's no team that Kerry Delmonico is a part of that will actually attack a strength of an opponent. She'll dial in, and if things go her way, she'll definitely just wait and pick her spots and not let a great player get off their 2 favorite shots.
Again, back to your statement about the disadvantage of being the target here. They're also easy to study because they're all over YouTube. You want to know what their strengths are, and when they find momentum shift, it doesn't take much research to figure it out, and they're going to stay away from it. Yeah.
So Randy, get ready for a long night. I don't know when they're going to serve you dinner out there.
We've seen a couple of loose points here. We've seen a couple of loose points here from Morgan and Sikora.
And Randy, to me, that's the next step for Morgan and Sikora as a team. They're top 4 in the country. They've been like top 6 in the country for, this is their 3rd season. And I look for them, in order for them to break into the top 3, I think it's really got to be eliminating, like a game like this where Morgan hit a shaky overhead, like kind of misses that don't seem logical when you're just watching because they're so good.
Yeah.
But those loose errors happen from time to time, and that's where I just think they cannot afford that against a top team.
That was a great shot.
Yeah, loved how she just kind of held that, Randy, let that ball get low, and just snuck it in Delmonico's 2-score corner.
Yeah, when Georgie hit that lob, she knew that point was over.
Right, and she did a good move by coming forward slightly. And you saw Delmonico going way to her right, but it was too good a drop shot.
Great pickup.
Yeah.
There's Delmonico. We heard that in Pittsburgh.
Exactly. Hey, Randy, Volley is a proud sponsor of the APTA. As the first AI-enabled training experience, Volley modernizes racket sports by delivering the on-demand dynamic system for live play training and better workouts. Volley creates a community to connect pros and players while giving users personalized performance insights to track progress and customize their practice. Ask your pro about a Volley lesson today. For more information, visit getvolley.com. Randy, have you been practicing with the Volley machine yet?
I have not. I was just going to ask you the same thing. I played a league match on Tuesday night at a facility that had volley equipment on site, but I didn't get a chance to see it in action, nor did I get a chance to use it.
It is dynamic. It's
Have
very
you
cool,
used
man.
it?
I did. I got it. Tomas Christian gave me a tour of it over at Beacon Hill and Summit a couple weeks ago. And I went out with Dave Broderick, and we kind of drilled a little bit with it, and we were intrigued by what it could do. And it fired a ball at me that I wasn't quite ready for, but that was great. It made me feel like I was playing mixed doubles again. So it's a great training tool, and just, all high-level players to every club-level player can benefit from repetition. And using that, the Volley machine is one way where if you're serious about improving your PTI, lower your PTI by practicing more with the Volley.
I'm going to have to get on it.
Get on it. So that's Kerry Delmonico serving. Up 3-2, first set. Finals, the Cleveland Masters. Randy, as you know, this is one of 16 events on the APTA Tour. We started this season off in Montclair, and that's where Anika and Lalich won. They beat Elliot Kiro in the finals. The women then went to Medina, and that's where Morgan Sikora took the title, beating Cruz and her new partner, B. Lopez. And then Morgan Sikora took out Hanish Zabori in the third set. In the finals of Baltimore, which was an amazing win for them.
That was
Here we are.
That was a great match.
Yeah, I mean, that had to be the win of their career. After Cleveland, everybody's headed to Philly Cricket next weekend for the next stop on the APTA Tour. Then everybody gets a Thanksgiving break, and then action will resume out on Long Island with the Dwayne Hayden event that kicks off all paddle players' Decembers.
Smart to let that ball drop. No sense hitting that overhead from 2 counties away. Oh, good luck there on the lead cord.
Right, and you can't give Sikora. She got a great swing on that ball, though. And that's her backhand. That's the one I just didn't think Delmonico would give her if she could help it.
Disputed call.
Who's the umpire in this match, Randy?
I believe that is Matt Ottaway.
Got it.
Taking control of the situation.
A lot of times when you see Morgan and Sikora play, Randy, you'll see Sikora switch and become the player on the left, handling more of the overhead. And here it looks like by design, Morgan's taking a lot of them in the early going here.
What do you think of how deep she's taking those rollers, though? Is that
I mean,
hitting those from the
are you
service line?
asking because
It always concerns me when, people are trying to hit rollers from behind the service line.
right?
She's hit a
think that
couple
they're-
into the tape already.
Right, and that's the thing. She's not one of the taller players on tour, and being well aware of the advantages of being short on a paddle court. One of them is not hitting a roller from behind the service line for sure.
And how do you know that, Patty?
I have a faint memory. I think one of the things that happens is, as a shorter player on tour, you're going to get lobbed over because 80% of the shots out here are lobs. You know, these top players get really good at handling that ball and letting that ball drop, and then there is a point where you just let it drop a little too low, and that gets dicey. So, Allison's got the skill where she can kind of hit a roller, and that ball even can come up off her paddle slightly in a way. So, Randy, exactly the match I think we expected here. Seesaw, I think that'll continue. And like I said, I think this bodes well for Carrie and Georgie to be super competitive early on in this match.
And I certainly like their body language, their energy. They are not intimidated in any stretch.
Delmonico is a former women's national champ, won the mixed nationals a couple times with Mike Stulak, one husband and wife. She does not back down. and she embraces the fight on the court as much as anyone. Shout out to Riley. I'm sure she's watching her mom here. And a shout out to Mike.
I like the move there from Georgie. Just got a little unlucky.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that I think she's improving on, her positioning. And I noticed early going in Montclair, she was a little bit all over the place, positioning-wise. And then as that tournament got deeper, I happened to watch a couple of her matches there, and she just became more and more disciplined. And that's kind of one of the keys out here. Your partner benefits greatly when they know where you're going to be and what shot you're going to hit. I think people don't appreciate, how helpful your shot is to where your partner is going to be in position for the very next ball. I always love it when people are like, oh, I play with so-and-so, and why'd you put me with her? She missed so many volleys. And I love saying, well, she missed so many volleys because you hit the ball all over the place. And how could she have known where to go? If you were just a little bit more disciplined, you could have made your partner look good instead of making your partner look bad. And that goes throughout the game, at every level. And I just think at the top level in the game, people are so good that they hit the ball all over, and their partners can pick up on it and make, positioning adjustments, et cetera. But most players don't have that benefit. Yeah, you can see good lobbing from Alexandre, and you see Sikora handling it from playing pretty far back. I'd love to see Georgie or Carrie sneak in and maybe blitz. I feel like Sikora's not looking to be aggressive on those overheads, even though she could be because of her height. And I always think that's a little opportunity for a little surprise blitz move. Is that when you blitz, Randy? When do you make your surprise move?
I am just a bundle of surprises.
I gotcha, and we'll leave it at that.
At my age, there's not a lot of blitzing going.
Well, you could start today for tomorrow's match. Randy, Riley Stulak. I just got an email or a text that Riley Stulak is a big fan of yours.
Shout out to Riley.
Oh, yeah. No cooler kid than Riley. I like the move. Good pressure from Georgie Alexandre coming in there, and I think that's where she has to learn, let that ball just go through. She was only looking for a ball in her forehand. It went to her backhand. Just let it go through, and Delmonico would handle it easily. But it's hard to not not try to put the finishing touch on it when she's made that commitment to charging. So I like the charge.
I'm brilliant at calling that from here. Got a set point here. All right, first set to Morgan and Sikora, 6-3. Great drive. Thanks for the replay.
Oh yeah, well we'll talk about what they have to do. Why don't we take a quick break here, Randy?
Absolutely.
Ready for a whole new training experience? Welcome to Volley. At Volley, we've developed the first AI training system for racket sports, providing pros with the advanced teaching tools they've been waiting for, and giving players a new way to level up their game and enhance their time on the court. Ask your pro about a volley lesson today and learn what Volley can do for you. We'll see you on the court.
And we're back here at the Cleveland Racket Club with the Cleveland Masters, the finals of the Women's Open, with Kerry Delmonico and Georgie Alexandre serving to Morgan and Sikora. Allison Morgan making a nice move there to close in.
You know, and right there, Randy, you see, you know, that's one of the trademarks of the Sikora Morgan team. They feed off each other. You know, they're not necessarily like a one-hit wonder where they'll explode, but and just have an outright winner, like I was referring to earlier. They're truly a team where they have the combination of shots, and a lot of it starts with Sikora's, you know, ability to get that ball, roll that ball low, and then Morgan is one of the fastest players on tour, and again, you see her kind of scooting up there to the net and picking that ball off, and that's putting a lot of pressure on Kerry and Georgie right now. But again, like Sikora shouldn't get away with that much hang time on that overhead. So again, I like the move from Georgie Alexandre there to try to take that, but you know, she's got to be a little bit more disciplined when she makes that move and kind of zero in on where she's trying to hit the ball, and if she can't hit it to a target, let it go through to Delmonico. These first two games are huge for Delmonico and Alexandre here. And I just feel like all of a sudden, do you feel Morgan Sikora's like a little uptick in their play, Randy? A little more pressure?
A lot more speed in their game right now. A lot more offense.
Yeah, this is where I would really focus on my volleys, really looking the ball in and really trying to get depth on my volleys, because a team like Morgan Sikora is just going to thrive on shorter balls.
Smart.
You know, I think an interesting adjustment maybe here for Delmonico Alexandre, I'll go out on the limb here a little, Randy, is I think Kerry should get to the left of this team and handle the overheads and park Georgie on top of the net, because I think they're getting slightly broken down by Kerry tends to play off the net anyway, and as the player to the right, who does have ultimate responsibility to handle those volleys, I think she's getting caught a tiny bit. So I'd love to see her move over, take charge, and just, you know, take 80% of the overheads from the, you know, as the left player on the court if you're looking at the team from behind and see what they could do with that.
Well, you could just see in that point, they were out of position a lot because her natural tendency is to take those overheads anyway. And
Yes.
she took 4 balls off of Georgie's paddle there.
I don't think she would call it that, but I agree with you, Randy.
Don't think she would either.
I mean, I feel like she would take dessert off Riley's play if she had a chance. Although Carrie eats differently than Riley, I have noticed. Yeah, I just think, this is where Delmonico and Alexandre need to make a tactical adjustment, and that could be one that they could make. I think if they don't, I don't think this is going their way.
Yeah, it does feel like Morgan and Sikora have found a rhythm and are pretty dialed in here.
And you just kind of feel a little bit of loss of energy from Carrie and Georgie here. Hey, Matt, are you getting your team ready for Team Nationals this year? First weekend in April?
Well, Matt's over there by the bar, but...
I don't mean Matt, I mean you, Randy. Sorry.
Yeah, the women sent a team 2 years ago and won it.
Oh, yeah. Well,
Cleveland
we're
showing
hosting the guys.
strong.
Oh, yeah. We're hosting the guys in New Jersey. Mike Raleigh is hosting out of Exmoor. The ladies this year again. Greg Morgan is running the men's. I help him out a little bit. Greg does a phenomenal job, and we've got big plans with Mike Raleigh already. We've got a lot of work done to make this year's event even bigger and better than ever.
How many
Randy,
teams did you have last year?
Well, I'm so glad you asked. We had 410 women who played last year, which was a 46% increase in participation from the prior year. And then the men, we went up to 350 men last year. And so it's really the biggest event in the sport of platform tennis. It's a massive undertaking, huge amount of courts, huge amount of volunteers, but really maybe the most fun because it truly is a team format, which is so unique. And kudos to APTA President Tiernan Cavana, Amin Kaduri, and Sheedy Isabel, everybody involved with the APTA for having the vision to really bring the team nationals to the forefront in events and during the APTA platform tennis calendar.
It's a terrific opportunity for people to get out and compete, and you have different categories for PTI levels, don't you?
Oh, Randy, we have an event for everyone. So the idea is you get, some of your buds together. You could get the band back together from UVM. Well, maybe not that.
Probably not.
Probably not that.
I'm not
That
sure
would be
any of those guys have seen a paddle racket in their lives, but...
Right. But the event has grown because it's gone from where maybe you would grab the group of players who you've been playing all season long into an event where, a lot of your friends don't play where you play, belong to different facilities, and this way all your buds can team up, and as long as your PTIs are within reason, within about 15 points of each other, the teams can be formed, and they had a blast. We had such a great time with the women last year, and I was most proud of the 2 teams coming from the Adirondacks. We had a combination 2 teams from Glens Falls Country Club, Dorset Field Club, Lake George Paddle, Saratoga, and so, to me, that's what that team format can bring into the game. It can give people a chance who have never participated in an APTA tour event to kind of get their feet wet and go play in a team format.
That's terrific. Yeah, I would definitely encourage everybody to put a team together and get out there and enjoy it. The women who came from Cleveland and actually were able to pull it out just came back beaming, not just from having won it, but I think they would have come back beaming regardless. They just had a blast.
I think they were one of my nominees for Team of the Year, Best Dancing Team. Because you had to dance. If you showed up at that party, you had to dance. I don't think we can make the guys do that, but the women were all in.
Those girls can cut a rug.
Oh, boy.
I'm looking at 3 of those ladies right now here in the hut, as a matter of fact. They're not dancing.
They're not dancing?
They look very
Yes.
tired, actually.
Well, I mean,
Been
maybe
playing a lot of
we
paddle
need...
today.
But, I mean, to me, if I need to dance, I just need to dial up some group from Ohio. It could be the OJs going way back. And that's what we did. We made sure we had, songs by the DJ last year at Team Nationals from every state, every hometown. We made sure we had all the groups covered.
One thing we know about you, Patty, you know how to throw a party.
Oh, yeah. I didn't say that really was the most fun part of Team Nationals, but maybe it was pretty high up there. No, I have a lot of fun, Randy, running the events, working with all these great pros in New Jersey who step it up all the time. The Broderick brothers, everybody in New Jersey just really embraces the opportunity to host APTA events. And, just like you guys are hitting it out of the park here, you want it great for the players and you want it great for spectators. And you want people to be talking about events, and that's how you just, further the interest for, every year coming up.
Well, speaking of great events and lots of interest, you run another event every year, Junior Nationals.
Well, Randy, I like to be taller than at least like one age bracket, and I achieve that usually with all the kids in the 10 and under flight.
I was just gonna say, you got the 9-year-olds.
Yeah, some of those 10 and under boys, oh boy, they have me. But it's another great event, and that's another event run by Greg Morgan. Does a great job. Greg's the APTA Junior Board Rep. Took over for me a couple of years ago, doing a phenomenal job. Junior Nationals, hosted every year, thanks to Drew Broderick and Canubra Country Club. Canubra Country Club, I just got to talk about them for 1 second, because, Randy, they just hit it out of the park. They love hosting these events. They make it so great for all the players and fans, and that's Junior Nationals included, and we get so much sponsorship support, and the kids just love it and have the most phenomenal day. Last year, I hope we have the live streaming again, Randy. We had, we talk about the action throughout the day, and it's so fun to see the rising stars in our game, through the junior ranks. So
I'll tell you what, I watched some of that live streaming last year and was blown away at the talent.
Oh my gosh.
The talent that's coming up from those ranks is going to be unreal.
Yeah, and Randy, that's the growth in the game, thanks to, all these clubs' commitment to really having these high-level teaching and playing pros who can just, you see it. The kids are just coming along, and they learn the game. They have no fear. They want screens the first day they walk on the court. They think that's a riot. So it's really fun to see the development of the juniors, and the level of play just improved every single year. Randy, I'll even go back to, I remember we have some open national champs who won Junior Nat: Mark Powers, Mike Stulak, Dave Omuller, Scott Estes Jr. I mean, the game, just get your kids going in this game young, and you're giving them the game for life.
It really is. It's also just a great family game. We get out with the kids, and we just have a great afternoon. Head into dinner, just make it a family event.
Randy, how old are your kids?
They're old now, 22 and 25.
Oh, so they're old enough to know about your University of Vermont days.
Yeah, they probably know more than I care for them. Loose there from Allison.
But Allison's, Sikora and Morgan up 6-3, up 3-1 here. Second set seemed pretty comfortable. I've even seen Sikora pull out like 4 lefty overhead. Did you pick up on that, Randy?
I did. I'm quite jealous that she can hit that shot, frankly. Think about all the steps I would save not running around it.
I mean, she's all arms and legs anyway, and she goes all the way back, and she just puts her paddle in her left hand and hit the shot. And, like we said, I haven't seen really any tactical adjustments here from Delmonico and Alexandre, I'm sorry to say. Have you?
No, I have not. other than maybe Georgie's hitting her drive a little more often. Which is not
Yeah.
working out.
So Morgan Sikora looking like they might grab their third title of the year. Randy, last year, true or false?
40-50.
Morgan Sikora won three tournaments last year.
I am going to say none of the above. I don't know.
Say true.
True.
Good answer.
I'm going to go
Randy.
true.
Yeah. They won Cleveland, Birchwood, Midwesterns last year, and they're on pace to win their third event in the first half of the season. And, you know, that's the great thing about the APTA Tour. You have Allison Morgan, who lives in Chicago. You've got Charlotte Sikora, who travels all over, and plenty of events in the Midwest and in the Northeast and throughout the paddle country, and lots of opportunities for teams to go play events. So Morgan Sikora taking advantage of that. They are road warriors and doing a great job to position themselves for a really strong season. Hey, Randy.
Yes, ma'am.
Let me tell you about a company called Fusion in collaboration with the APTA. Fusion is at the forefront of personalized gear and apparel. Backed by a team of seasoned industry experts, they provide exclusive access to high-end products from top-tier retail brands, all poised for customization with your club logo, team name, or corporate branding. Our streamlined approach guarantees a hassle-free shopping and shipping experience complemented by custom online storefronts and swift ordering. Visit www.gearbyfusion.com and let Fusion seamlessly weave your branding into elite merchandise. And Randy, speaking of Fusion, I was just thinking about holiday shopping, and I do most of my holiday shopping thanks to Fusion for my facility up north in Ticonderoga, New York, Lake George Paddle, and we look forward to opening up our seasonal store in about a week or so, hopefully, and we throw it up there for about a week, and we let everybody order gear for their kids, their grandkids. You know, what do you get that stepdaughter that you don't know anything, you don't know what she's going to like? No, I'm only kidding about that. Your aunt, your uncle, you can go one-stop shopping. They'll get it to you in time for the holidays. I highly recommend reaching out to www.gearbyfusion.com.
No better place to shop, if I do say so myself.
Oh, yeah. They'll open up stores for team nationals, junior nationals, and all the players love having that cool custom gear. Randy, true or false? You own over 100 jackets.
That is true.
How many have the Fusion logo?
97. If I bring home another jacket, I'm pretty sure my wife is going to kick me out of the house.
You know, Randy, I run a jacket and coat giveaway up here every year. If you ever want to send me any of your jackets your wife wants to get rid of, go for it. I'll give you my mailing address.
We were away on vacation last year in Utah, and the UPS guy showed up at where we were staying, and it was a box full of 3 jackets from Fusion. She just about lost it.
I guess your wife doesn't buy you any apparel, Randy.
Nope. She can't even buy me underwear because Fusion sells underwear.
I had no idea they went to those depths.
No better underwear to wear for men than 2 Under.
Wow. Is it heated? Don't answer that.
I'm going to let that one go. But thanks for asking. It's a great move there from Morgan.
Yeah, so you heard our umpire up 4-2, second set. We need a spark from Terry and Georgie here. Only because we love to see three-set matches, Randy.
Agreed.
Even though Sikora missed that, I love the mood. She just put a lot of pressure. Didn't come up with the final shot, but I love the play. See, just even on that play with Georgie to the right of Carrie Delmonico there, she was kind of even with Carrie, not further back, and I just like that setup for them to handle, some of this firepower from Sikora in particular from the deuce court. Randy, can we get a shot of the crowd? I hear them. I want to see them.
There you go. We got the stands are full. The hut is full. There's a tent, food and a bar that's full. The energy here is terrific. The Cleveland paddle community could not be more supportive of this event. Ooh. Wouldn't want to be on the other side of that one.
Yeah, and I mean, that was great play from Morgan, just a combination of shots. And I'm telling you, that's what distinguishes Allison Morgan right there. It's a combination. She picked an awkward spot, got carried to flip her paddle over from her backhand to her forehand, popped it up, and Allison finished it off. I think I referred to earlier in the set, I was like, Delmonico and Alexandre have to volley deep.
Paid off there. All right, they're hanging around.
They're hanging around, and that's important, Randy.
As you said, Carrie does not give up easy. She's not going away.
Shout out to one of our Adirondack Green Mountain girls from last year's Team Nationals, Charlotte Gillette, lives down in Saratoga, plays out of Glen Falls Country Club and Lake George Paddle, and enjoying the action here. Charlotte was a player years ago. I met Charlotte. She used to play with Shelley Morse back in the day. Before your time, Randy. You were still at UVM. We mentioned earlier, next weekend, Philly Cricket's second stop on the Grand Prix Tour from the APTA Grand Prix Tour has four of the Grand Prix events, designated locations where they have 2 courts of live streaming going on all weekend. The first was Chicago Charities. Philly Cricket's next weekend. Out in January, late in the month, is Detroit Invitational. And then it swings back to Short Hills, February 10th and 11th. Nationals are at the Country Club in Brookline, Massachusetts this year, March 8th through the 10th.
In the last match, Matt and I were commenting on the change in the game over the last 7 to 10 years. It's really been profound. The athleticism, the amount of offense.
Well, and, that has to do with the changes in the equipment. The ball's changed a little bit, and the power. I mean, but you're right. The athleticism is just phenomenal. And, you see these players coming out who play like big-time college tennis, pro tour tennis, and their rise in the game is just like incredibly quick because they have the ground strokes. They have no fear. They don't mind being hit at, and they just have to learn the screens. And the fact that they only get one serve. That's a big detail. It's interesting, Randy, in all the live stream, we see a lot of the sidearm serving where very little of it, none this weekend from Cleveland, I don't think. Roxanne Nika is a big sidearm server. But we're not seeing that with anybody else.
Yeah, on the women's side, it's not quite caught on the way it has on the men's It's very effective, though, at keeping that ball low and reducing the impact of the return
Yeah, and
drive.
you see, right, you see like Adam Morgan hit it, and he literally throws his entire body into his serve.
Got a little pickleball going here. Great point.
Yeah, but you saw what Carrie did. She stayed out of that kitchen. She does her best to stay out of the kitchen in life.
Me too. And people are grateful that I stay out of the kitchen.
Randy, what time is action tomorrow?
The men's final tomorrow starts at 10 a.m.
So we have one more. Is there one more match tonight, Randy?
This is it?
This is it. This is our last match tonight. So we resume tomorrow 10 a.m.
Correct.
Excellent.
Man's got to sleep. Sikora making these volleys look routine. Not sure she could be more relaxed.
I was going to say, she does seem like she's listening to some great music in, you know, a headset, and she's totally chill out here.
And there it is.
Boy, what a
We've
job.
got a repeat championship team of Allison Morgan and Charlotte Sikora.
Yeah, their third win of the year. Pretty much a dominant performance throughout this tournament, Randy, for Alison Morgan and Charlotte Sikora. And I think they'll be in the lineup next weekend at Philly Cricket, as will a lot of the other top teams. And I think that'll be a great tournament for them.
It's great to have them here in Cleveland. They come every year, and they've been a joy to have in town. And obviously, they're great champions.
Yep. Well, Randy, you know, that pretty much, you know, we're going to wrap up things here. But on that note, and you talk about the Cleveland crowd, I just love the spirit out in Cleveland. I remember fondly my playing days going out to Cleveland, and I love the atmosphere around paddle tournaments. And, you know, Allison and Charlotte just epitomize that and make it so special for, you know, all the local members of the clubs who open, you know, their clubs up to host these players. And you know, you have very special players like Allison and Charlotte who go out of their way to make those people feel appreciated. So we thank them for that.
Absolutely. Well, I thank you for doing this with me tonight. It's been a joy.
Well, I thank you. It's been a joy for me as well.
Can't wait to see you soon.
All right. Thanks, Randy.
All right.
Cheers.
Thanks, Patty.